This video will discuss Juneteenth, which commemorates June 19, 1865, the date the last enslaved people in the United States were freed. Texas is considered the heart of Juneteenth for several reasons. Slavery was central to the state's settlement. It was the quote, Wild West of the Confederacy, and military force was required to enforce Union laws there. Slavery expanded in America from the first 20 enslaved Africans arriving in 1619. Southern agriculture relied on enslaved labor for crops like tobacco, rice, and indigo. Cotton became dominant after the cotton gin invention, leading to Texas's settlement to expand cotton plantations. The cotton gin, invented by Eli Whitney in 1793, significantly increased cotton production and, tragically, the demand for enslaved labor in the South. Moses Austin's approval to settle 300 Anglo families in 1821, completed by Stephen F. Austin in 1836, brought families and their slaves from states including Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, and Virginia to Texas. The abolition movement saw milestones from 1777 to 1848, including Vermont being the first state to abolish slavery. Key events include the end of the transatlantic slave trade in 1807 and the Dred Scott decision in 1857. Texas's secession in 1861 saw voters approve the Ordinance of Secession, making it the fourth state to join the CSA. General Twiggs surrendered the arsenal in San Antonio, and Governor Sam Houston was replaced after refusing to take the Confederate oath. This map shows the Confederate States of America, including Texas, which was a vital part of the Confederacy during the Civil War. In June-August 1861, Texas invaded the New Mexico Territory. John Baylor attacked the U.S. fort at Mesilla. On August 1st, Baylor declared the CSA Arizona Territory and was named its governor. Texas saw more action, including federal gunboats blockading Galveston in 1861. Galveston was briefly occupied by federal forces in late 1862, before Confederates regained control in January 1863. This period also included the Great Hanging at Gainesville. The Nueces Massacre occurred on August 10, 1862. Anti-slavery Germans in Texas attempted to flee to Mexico, but were killed by CSA soldiers while crossing the Nueces River. 36 men died in the incident. The Emancipation Proclamation, issued on January 1, 1863, was a war tactic targeting states in rebellion. It redefined the war from Union preservation to human freedom and encouraged freed slaves to join the Union Armed Service. Texas continued fighting, with 90,000 Texans participating in battles across the country. Texas served as a vital source of supplies for the Confederacy and contributed $37 million in support through taxes. The war wound down in 1865, with the surrender at Appomattox on April 9. However, slaves in Texas were not yet freed. The last land battle took place at Palmito Ranch on May 12 to 13. Major General Gordon Granger sailed to Galveston to occupy Texas on June 19. Major General Granger issued General Order 3 on June 19, 1865. This order came 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation and about 2 1/3 months after the surrender at Appomattox. Juneteenth celebrations began in community churches in Houston. In 1872, 4 former slaves bought a 10-acre parcel in Houston, establishing Emancipation Park. Juneteenth became the second official U.S. holiday related to the Civil War, following Decoration Day, which became Federal Memorial Day in 1971. The Juneteenth National Independence Day Act was signed in 2021. As the second Civil War holiday, we should consider how best to honor Juneteenth and its significance in American history.